Since March of 2020, federal student loan payments have been suspended and interest has been frozen due to the pandemic. The freeze has been extended several times, but barring a Christmas miracle, that freeze will come to an end on January 31st, 2022. Today I'll be sharing 5 things you need to do now before the freeze is lifted. Hi everyone, this is Camilla, the Focused Spender, and welcome to my channel where I teach you how to get out of debt, save more money, and invest so that you can build wealth and leave a lasting legacy. Obviously, as you're well aware, we have been living in some crazy times, and the government basically had to take some extreme measures to make sure that everything did not collapse. And one of those things was freezing student loan payments. Now, if you had private loans, you still had to pay your private loans on schedule. Nothing changed for you. But if you had federal student loans, you were able to not make payments over the last 20 months. And if you were one of those people that had federal student loans, you likely fell into one of these 4 buckets. 1, you stopped paying your student loans and used that extra money to survive because your income decreased, or you were already stretched too thin and you needed this relief so that you could survive. 2, you stopped paying on your student loans, but you started to use that extra cash and built up an emergency fund or really built up your savings to maybe make a lump sum payment once the payments are come due again. 3, you stopped paying on your loans and you just lived it up and lived your life and used that extra money to just, do whatever. 4, you just kept paying on your loans and nothing changed for you. And I actually know a couple people like that. One of my friends literally just texted to say she is now debt free. She has paid off all of her student loans. And a client that I've been working with is actually on track to pay off her first student loan in January. So she just really uses time to make extra payments so that, she can start knocking her student loans off of her list. Now, wherever you fall, you're gonna have to start paying back on your loans in February of 2022. While some people are actually getting cancellation, I literally just read an article about it yesterday about people who are now qualifying for cancellation, and another 20,000 more people are going to be getting their loans, or at least partial loans, canceled. More than likely, you're going to have to start paying off your loans because it's not going to be canceled. So I want you to do these 5 things before February 1st of 2022. The first thing I want you to do is to update your contact information. A lot of things might have happened in the last 20 months. You might have moved, maybe you got a new email address, but make sure your student loan company knows exactly how to find you. In fact, some companies like Navient have left the student loan game altogether and have transferred your debt to another company. So you want to make sure that whoever the right company is, that they're able to contact you and let you know what's going on when everything is due. So you want to make sure they can find you. Now, the second thing you need to do is to make sure your payment information is up to date and that you know what it is. So first thing you need to do is make sure your bank account information is correct, especially if you had auto debit set up. It might be a little bit wonky, so you have to make sure that everything is flowing correctly. You also want to make sure that you know when your first due date is so that you can pay it on time. And you want to make sure you know the amount so that you can get yourself all sorted out. The third thing I want you to do is to review your actual personal budget. A lot of things have changed, inflation is happening. Everything is a lot more expensive. Maybe before the freeze, the payments that you were paying was very comfortable and it was something that you could do easily. But over the last 20 months, you might have gotten adjusted to not paying your loans. And you really need to look at your budget to see how it's going to impact you. Now you're going to have this extra $300, $400, $500, $700 payment coming out every single month. And you need to make sure you understand what that impact is. You might have added things to your budget that you hadn't before. And so you want to really sit down and get that sorted out so you can know how much you can afford to actually pay. The fourth thing that I want you to do now that you've actually sat and looked at your budget is to review your repayment plan. So student loan companies have several different repayment plan options. You have the graduated repayment plan, the extended repayment plan, pay as you earn, and income-based repayment plan. And there's honestly a lot more, and there is a link in the description box below that goes through these different options plus more. So you want to make sure that you have the best payment plan for you based off of your budget. Maybe that $700 payment you can no longer afford. You need something that's more in line with the amount of money that you're making now. You need to be able to reduce it. So you want to look at all your options and make sure you select the right one for you. And the fifth thing I want you to do is to contact your student loan provider. If you sat down and looked at your budget and you've looked at the repayment plan and you're like, you know what? I can't do any of this. I don't have it. I'm not working. I cannot do any of this. And you need to apply for short-term relief. You want to do that now. You don't want to wait and panic, like, your student loan has come due and you're like, I can't do any of this, and you just stop paying, because once you hit 90 days of not paying, it's going to start negatively impacting your credit score. So you want to contact your student loan provider now if you need to apply for forbearance or deferment. And just a quick recap on the two. Forbearance will allow you to stop paying on the principal or reduce your principal payments for up to 12 months. And deferment will allow you to stop paying on your principal and interest for up to 3 years. So you want to make sure that you speak to your student loan provider if you realize there's no way you're going to be able to pay back any of your loans right now. If you found this video helpful, be sure to click on the video that's popping up on your screen right now that goes through how I paid off my $65,000 worth of student loan debt in just 3 years. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.